In this next chapter, we're going to prepare our model. We want to clear the edges around the model. So let's go straight to the point. Now, I'll click on the, I'll click and select the model. You can press Ctrl and then click on the thumbnail of the model layer, and then come to select, come to modify, and come to contract, and set and choose the value of 28 or 29, and apply. Then you can press Ctrl J. Okay, so now we have been able to clear the grasses around the edges of the model. So I created a stock file, PSD file, where I've added all the elements. So we'll start with the bottle. The bottle, I'm going to bring it up a bit. Then I'm going to rotate it somewhere like this. And then I'm going to use the rule tool. If you want to have access to the rule tool, you can press Ctrl R, and then it will toggle between activating the rule tool, and then I will create a guiding line. Okay, so let's position our bottle such that it fits well. Okay, now the next thing is we're going to rename our model layer. We're going to call it model. Then we're going to scale it down. Ctrl T, and then you press Alt and Shift whilst scaling it down so that you can have proportional scaling. And then you bring it like, then you turn it down, turn it up a bit so that it looks like it's sitting inside the bottle. So like, let's say something like this. Okay. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go in and then take the spider. All these things I've already done everything already. So all you have to do is to drag and drop. And then you bring it up. You copy it up. And then you position it somewhere here, anywhere you want. Yeah, anywhere you want. And I'm going to bring in a butterfly. Okay, so this butterfly, I've already created a reflection. You realize that I've created a reflection and then I've linked it together. So if you toggle the main butterfly layer, you see the reflection here. And if you toggle off the reflection, you see it here. The reflection is just simple. I duplicated the same layer and then I just flipped it. You have something we call, when you click on Ctrl T, you have something we call flip vertical. So I flipped it and then I position it and then just set it to vivid light. Okay, so we're gonna copy our next butterfly. We're gonna put it here. Then we're gonna copy our another butterfly. We're gonna put it somewhere here. You realize that this butterfly, I already applied motion blur. So for instance, if you want to apply motion blur on, for instance, a butterfly, you just click on BT edit, the current file, and then you come to blur, motion blur, and then you set the angle at which the motion at which the butterfly is flying towards, and then you set the value. So this is how you create a motion blur on an object so that it will signify that the element or that artifact was in motion, so that it can serve the depiction that, okay, this animal or this butterfly wasn't just static in the scene, but it was flying. Yeah. So this is how to create a motion blur. So let's take the other one. This one too, we have already applied motion blur on it. And then let's put it here. So going for our leaves. The leaves, we want to scatter them across, so but I will just have to adjust it down a bit so that it will look like it's lying down on the floor. Yes. Okay. Lying down on the floor. Okay. And then let's go in. Okay, we are done with the elements. So let's group the elements so that we know which one is which and which one is which. Okay, I'll separate the model so that I know that this, and then let's scale up the leaves. Okay, so I've scaled up the leaves. Now let's group. So I'm going to group all the creatures together. I'm going to name the folder creatures, and I'm going to group the bottle and then the leaves. I can call them artifacts. I can call them elements because I introduced them into the scene. And then the main model is going to be here. So when we uncheck the group, the creatures for group, you realize there are no creature. Okay, so now we have everything organized now. Now in our next chapter, we're going to add more stuff to make it look more nice and soft. And then we'll also add a text in our next chapter.